Sadhguru Nath Maharaj Ki Jai. And welcome to Jagadambe Reads the Holy Books of India, Mahabharata468. As you may remember, Arjuna was really yelling at Yudhishthira. All the heroes who were listening to the tirade of Arjuna stood silent. Bhima was speechless for a moment with anger. Then he looked at his brother with red eyes and said, "You disgust me with your words, my brother. You talk like a forest dweller who has abandoned everything. I do not like your words. You're not a Brahmin, and you talk like one. What's the meaning of the word Kshatriya? It means one who rescues others from injuries. You are powerful like Indra. You're capable of winning the entire world at the point of your sword. Please do not behave like a mendicant whose only glory is his humility. I am happy to see that you are at least following your profession. You talk to our worthy brother about righteousness? When did he swerve from righteousness? I want you to answer my question. His kingdom was taken away from him by means which were not righteous. Draupadi was dragged to the court by that animal Dushasana, and she was insulted before our very eyes. Yudhishthira was banished to the forest by means that were unrighteous. He was made to wear tree bark and deerskin. And this saint among men spent 12 years in the forest. He spent another year in the court of Virata as the courtier. Can anything be more terrible than that? This king who had the entire earth to himself. This our brother who had performed the Rajasuya and who had been adored by all the kings of the world. This king, I say, allowed himself to be hit on the forehead by an ordinary man, and yet spoke not a word of protest. Was it cowardice, or was it because he was righteous that he went through all that suffering? Tell me that. When you and I and all of us were clamoring for war, this saint among men asked for 5 villages. Was that cowardice? Do you say that it was fear for Duryodhana that made him ask for those 5 villages? Or was it his gentle and righteous nature that abhorred war? Do you call that righteous, or do you not? Tell me that. You dare to suggest that he spoke that untruth in his desire to rule the kingdom? You dare to accuse this man of unrighteousness? This man who is so full of compassion that he cannot bear to see even his enemies killed? When the Gandharvas were in the Dvaitavana, and when they captured Duryodhana, was it unrighteousness which made him send you and me and the twins to rescue him? You have always been saying, when the war comes, we will do our utmost to right the wrongs done to Yudhishthira by the sons of Dhritarashtra. Depending on you and your words, I had hopes of avenging the many injuries done to our brother. I had hopes of punishing these men. I was quiet all these days because this saintly Yudhishthira thought that it would not be righteous if we fought before the expiry of the 13 years. You have heard Radeya speak to me. He called me a glutton and a fool, and that I should stay in the kitchen. How is it your blood did not boil at those words? You did not seem to mind it, evidently. Radeya is still alive. After all these years, you have suddenly begun to talk of righteousness. Do not dare to speak to Yudhishthira like that. To Yudhishthira, who is the image of Dharma. If you are so upset by the death of that sinful Brahmin who was absolutely heartless, you are welcome to it. I do not have any respect for a man who is not true to his profession. It includes you too, if you're going to be a virtuous person all of a sudden. You have Krishna by your side, and yet you have the audacity to praise the son of that Brahmin, Ashwatthama. How can you insult the greatest man that has been born on the earth? You do not deserve the friendship of Krishna. He is the Lord, and he has approved of the lie of Yudhishthira. You think that you are wiser than the wisest? I'm sorry, Arjuna, but your words are not the words that ought to be spoken by a younger brother to his elder brother, who is the greatest guru. Sadhguru Maharaj Ki Jai. Thank you for coming. I hope you come again.